sportschatplace.com and picksandparlays.net. It is Sunday, July 14th, 2019, here with your free live show. Of course, we're here live every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, doing free picks. This is probably our last month, though, of doing it in this format. We're still going to have free picks. We're still going to have, do everything that we do now. We're just going to have a different format. I'm leaning towards just a straight half-hour show every day and having it more of a formatted show where we do some picks and we have a guest that's kind of a guest co-host every day. And you'll see. I think you guys will really like it. But, of course, the emphasis of the show, we're still going to give out our free picks. But we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk, things that affect betting going forward, and a lot of the things that we talk about now, just in a more formatted fashion, and of course with graphics and things like that to go along with it. But of course, we're here every single day, and our best bets always over at Sports Chat Experts, as well as picksandparlays.net. Morning to everyone. Of course, it is 4:40 a.m. here in Hawaii. And, yesterday was one of those days in Major League Baseball. We have these days. It's part of, that 2,600 games of Major League Baseball where it just seems that every bounce goes against you. It's like you're winning the games and you don't win them. It's like it happened to me 4 times yesterday, and these games are going to happen. We know that. Chelsea's on the Picks and Parlays radio show. This is a different show. She's awesome. And, of course, I'll be on I Have Coffee. Of course, Chelsea will be on the Picks and Parlays show, and I'll be on there tomorrow. So I'm going to be on we're doing a soft launch of the Picks and Parlays radio show tomorrow, starting tomorrow. I'm on as a guest. It's not my show, the Picks and Parlays radio show. I'm just a guest. And I'll be on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week as a guest on the show. I could tell you what the rundown of that is going to be. I don't know if Craig's gone over it with you guys. Of course, Chelsea is going to host the show on the Picks and Parlays radio show. And then I believe the guests are going to be Craig, me, Tony T, Joe D'Amico, Dana Lane, and let's see who else Chelsea has on this week. I know Craig sent me a schedule, which was nice of him, so I know in advance. But let's see what it is. I'll read it off to you. I'm sure. I don't know if he's announced it or how he's going to do it, but Monday's going to be Craig, Tony, and me. Tuesday's going to be Craig, Dana, and Tony. Wednesday's going to be Tony, me, and Chip. Thursday is going to be me, Craig, and Chip. Friday is going to be Nick Gieber, who does our hockey, our soccer, Dana, and then me and Craig together with Chelsea. So we'll see how that all goes. And that's going to be the Picks and Parlays radio show. It's available on the Picks and Parlays YouTube channel, as well as on AM radio and iHeartRadio. Craig will probably send something out to tell you what channels on your AM radio that you'll be able to listen to the Picks and Parlays radio show. It's an hour-long show, and it's going to be on 5 days a week. Morning, Steve. Of course, my wife is from Cincinnati, and so is Craig. Is from Cincinnati as well. But anyways, let's get right into some free picks here. Like I said, yesterday was one of those days with my premium picks where it was like, I gave these out as it's I don't know. Anyways, let's get into today's picks. I had the Phillies yesterday against the Nationals, and 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 9th inning, the Nationals hit a 2-run home run. And I'll tell you what, those Philly fans were booing like no one's business. I had the game on. I had the sound on that game. And I'll tell you what, man, they were booing like crazy. And I'll tell you, my wife, who's the most mild-mannered person in the world, even said, because she wasn't even watching the game, she was like reading her book or whatever, and she heard me when he hit the home run. When he hit the home run off him, I was just, I yelled out, "You suck!" And she's like, "What happened?" And I explained to her what happened: the 2 outs, 2 strikes, 1 man on, up by 1 run, top of the ninth. And then when at the end, when the Philly fans booed him walking off the field, she's like, "He deserved it." Oh my God. I didn't screw anybody. I mean, I'll tell you that much. I just give out picks. But anyways, I think I hate the Phillies so much. I hated them at the beginning of the season. I've been bad on them. I was bad. I was down on them. I've been down on them a bunch this year, and I know I've said at the beginning of the season this was going to be one of the more overrated teams. I'm going to take the Nationals here with Anibal Sanchez. That's how much I hate the Phillies. Anyways, for our next pick, let's go to the game between the Marlins and the Mets. I'll tell you, I had the Marlins yesterday, and they did not come through for me. I picked them on the show against Syndergaard, and Syndergaard pitched really well, and they never really got a chance to get into that Mets bullpen. But I'll tell you what, I like the I had the Rangers yesterday also. That was gruesome. I had every gruesome loss yesterday that you could have. It's like, I'm never going to be one of those guys that come on, I win every game, I'm 103. That's you guys know who does that. But we'll get, this is an interesting topic, and this is the type of stuff we're going to talk about on the new show. But I'm going to address it here in just a second as well. I'm going to save that comment, and I'm going to come back to it after we finish this pick. But I like Alcantara, and I hate the Mets bullpen. So I really believe that the Marlins at plus 200 here is some crazy sick value. Crazy sick. And I think this is like a must-play type game, honestly. I even think if you played it at plus 1.5, you're still going to get plus money. So I'm going to take the Marlins. So here's what we have here is the salaries of the Major League Baseball players. I 100% agree, but what we have here is the greed factor, and we also have, so there's a few different things going on here. Number one, it's the baseball players union, okay, because the union in baseball is the strongest union in the history of unions, and I'm not talking about just sports unions, I'm talking about unions. There's the auto workers union, there's all these, right, Teamsters, there's all these different unions out there. There's, even the casino players have a union. Right? But the issue here is that in the Major League Baseball Players Union, not one player has ever crossed the picket line in the history of the Major League Baseball. So when they strike, wasn't like football, where the football players, when they struck Joe Montana and all these other guys, they all crossed the picket line. And in baseball, they never do. So it could really, a strike could really go forever. The issue with baseball is that you don't, because they've never crossed the picket line, the players always get their way. So what that means is no salary caps. Okay, so there's no salary cap. So the teams, the big market teams, the teams that are generally in the World Series every single year. Okay, now Boston versus LA, right? You look at who's good: New York, Boston. The teams in the biggest TV markets, LA. Right? Chicago. These are the teams that can spend. You look at the teams that aren't good, or have to build. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, right? These are the teams that have to build. But the issue here is that, I understand that the owners aren't allowed to keep all the money, but what's happened in baseball is that it's crossed the line of a revenue share to pay for these salaries when Jason Hayward makes, $28 million a year and David Price makes $33 million. You've crossed the line over sharing the revenue that they already make. So I hope I'm not going too deep here or, whatever. But what I'm saying is that baseball was making X amount of money doing it the way that they were doing. They had the TV rights, ticket sales, parking, beer sales, peanuts, right? All that other stuff. But when Jason Hayward makes $28 million, right? I have no problem with Mike Trout making $50 million because he brings in that kind of money for baseball. I almost don't have a problem with Bryce Harper making that kind of money, except he doesn't put up the numbers, so eventually he will tail off his draw, right? But a guy like Mike Trout and some of these other guys, right? They make right, but that has driven up the salary of, all of these other players, kind of these middle guys that make $20 million. So what happens? A bleacher seat at Wrigley Field is $120. A bleacher seat at Fenway Park, which used to be $3, is now $60. And they have priced themselves out of the market for their fan base. They can't even think of cutting the season from a ridiculous 162 games, right? Which is crazy, right? It's crazy. 162 games. It's too much. They should stop it at Labor Day, right? When the NFL starts, stop it at Labor Day. Run all of your playoffs, everything, on these off days during the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Run them those times. Saturday night, even against the early college football, whatever. Run your playoffs against then, after Labor Day, and then be done with it. It's that September, October bullshit, right? Against the NFL. And then they first game of the World Series. We don't want to run any NFL games against that. Run the full schedule against it. I don't give a shit. How about that? That's how much I care about baseball once football starts. And I'm part of, I'm not going to speak for you guys, but I believe that we're all in agreement here, right? So it's not the GMs offering the crazy contracts. It's the agents of the players demanding it. So this is the issue here. Like I said, we have a new show coming out. It's going to be at the same time slot. It's going to be replacing this show. It's going to include everything that's included in this show, including the free picks, and we're going to give tons of them. We're always going to have people coming in as well. We're going to have every day, I believe, we're going to have a guest, or we should at least have some sort of guests. If it's just me on certain days, we'll have at least some people come in. I believe on most days, it's like I don't have control over what other people do. But we're going to cover topics like this because you guys know I care. So, yeah, good question. And like I said, I look forward to the new show, and I'm excited about it. And I'll tell you what, we could even have you guys call in, and be on the show and talk to me as well. We could add that feature if that's something you guys would be interested. So you don't just print, so you don't just write it. You could write in the questions like you do now. You could write in the questions like you do now, or call them in. We'll finish. We'll figure it out. But I love topics like this. We talk about them all the time, and I'll tell you, we talk about, in college football, Nick Saban wanting to take, away people's season tickets because they leave the game early, and that's why during college football season we always end the show. Tell Nick Saban I'm changing the channel, and if he wants to come to my living room and take away my television, I wish him the very best of luck, man. I swing a really mean 6-iron. But anyways, let's get back to the games today. Love the Diamondbacks here. Too bad this thing came out with a late line. I would have probably put it out as a premium pick. But you're getting the bargain of the century here at minus 119 with Zach Greinke up against Wainwright. So I'm going to take the Diamondbacks in this one. I'm running late now because we went on that rant about Major League Baseball. I'm going to stick with the Cincinnati Reds against the Rockies. The Reds 17 runs on the board last night against the Rockies. We knew that Kyle Freeland struggled against that the Reds pounded left-handed pitching, and Kyle Freeland had been struggling. But boy, look at what they did to that Rockies bullpen too. They really just left them in a mess. We'll get to the lucky penny pick now, and let's go to the game between the. I'll tell you, it's been a great series. This Giants-Brewers. Giants-Brewers, that game, another one that I lost yesterday. The Giants were winning the whole game with Bumgarner. Then they had a 4-2 lead. Then the Brewers took a 4-2 lead. The Giants tied it up, and then they lost it in extra innings. I'm going to do the coin flip. The Giants are plus 150 in this one, though. And the Brewers minus 169. Of course, as we do the lucky penny every day, heads for the home team, tails for the road team. Let's give her a flip. Tails. We're going to take the Giants. We're getting them at plus 150 in this one. So the coin flip that lost yesterday, so it's 27-17. And we got the Giants. So let's just recap today's show. Number one, we hate the baseball players union, or at least the way that it's operating now, sort of like they hold the owners hostage. We don't like the owners either, right? We don't want them to have all the money. We just don't want to pay the bill anymore. We want everything to kind of be reeled back in and say, $60 for a season that is 162 games is top end for kind of like the middle thing. And yeah, there should be $100 seats at the stadium, but $700 seats for a Yankees Pirates game? Kiss my ass. That's what I say to that one. Nationals minus 111, Marlins plus 200, Diamondbacks minus 119, Reds minus 105. The coin flip pick, San Francisco Giants. We got a new show coming. We're going to be able to go off the rails, as Tony T likes to call it on our podcast. We're going to do it every single day. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. I'm going to put that up there because someone said I'm right about something. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, that's a great way to get banned from my show, Raphael. So we're going to go to the show first, and then we're going to end it so we can ban you. Because we haven't seen one of your picks. Because you don't post them in the Facebook group. There it is. Hasta la vista. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.